consider yourself to be a willing person? Are you willing to look at viewpoints other than your own? Are you willing to sacrifice your time and energy for something that comes up even though it may not be what you intended to happen for the day? Are you willing to actively sit down and complete tasks that you're frankly not looking forward to completing? Hello again. I'm Jennifer. I'm a recovering 9-to-5 returned freedom guide, and I help midlifers who are stuck get unstuck. My videos on the How series in Recognizing Willingness are going to be broke into 2 parts. This is part 1. Let's get started in the first area that you may recognize that you're not quite willing or not quite as willing as you'd like to be, and that is that you may notice a lack of engagement in your life. This can look like several things. First, we have procrastination. Procrastination is delaying tasks or avoiding them altogether, often with excuses or justifications. So, master procrastinator here, it's still an ongoing battle. And I have to get really real with myself when I am not getting the things done that I would like to and say, you know what part is willingness or unwillingness playing in this procrastination? And it's curious how sometimes it's applicable to that. You may find that you are less willing to do some things, and that needs reflection. Why are you unwilling to do those things? And then you can start uncovering more and more to be able to move forward. Next, we have avoidance. This is a big buzzword in therapy circles and relationships. I think procrastination is a kind of avoidance, but this is actively steering clear of situations, people, or conversations related to the activity or change. If you are overweight and you want to lose a few pounds, but you avoid reading up on information on how to lose weight, looking up exercises that you can do, finding out about nutritional information so that you can make those changes, then you're definitely avoiding. Fear can be a big thing that crops up when it comes to unwillingness, and we'll talk more about that later. Third, we have defensiveness. So if you are not engaging in your life and you become defensive or argumentative when the topic of change or the activity that you're unwilling to complete is brought up, then you might be experiencing that unwillingness again. So many people in this day and age are defensive. I think that we've, as a society, lost our ability to have some backbone and some thick skin, understanding that not everyone has to agree with us or have our viewpoint. Certainly none of you in my audience have to have my same viewpoint. When someone says something that's not in alignment with you or that is opposite or disagrees with the way that you live or the way that you think, they're not necessarily attacking you, and so you can take a deep breath and not need to be defensive. That's more ego at work, I think. So those are some ways that you may have a lack of engagement in your life that is contributing to your level of unwillingness. The second area that we're going to discuss today is having a negative attitude. You need to take a look at these common things that might be related to a negative attitude. First, we have disinterest. This is simply expressing boredom, apathy, or a lack of enthusiasm towards a task or situation, or perhaps change. If you are feeling in that stuck and suffering place that I'm often referencing on this channel and trying to help you move away from, sit back and think to yourself, am I bored with what I'm doing? Do I not really have any emotion toward it? Or can I find that I don't have any motivation or enthusiasm toward this thing that I need to do or that I want to do? Next, we have complaining. This is a really good one. If you are regularly in a grumbly mood or expressing negative opinions about situations, then you might be a complainer and you might be experiencing some unwillingness. A third contributing factor that you might see if you do some self-reflection related to just having a pretty negative attitude is making critical remarks. If you're making negative or dismissive comments about others involved or the activity itself, then again, this is a negative energy related to the task at hand, and you are probably leaning more toward the unwilling scale. People who are positive minded and optimistic generally are having a more willing disposition. But as I mentioned, I used to think I was like the queen of enthusiasm and positivity, and I actually found out that I was quite unwilling. It was a cover-up. Now I know that I don't have to be falsely positive or enthusiastic, that when I am turned on and motivated by something, that I'm going to inherently have that positivity and enthusiasm needed to carry it through. And then the last thing that you might see as a part of that negative attitude is actually a negative body language. So if you are somebody who slouches, avoids eye contact, or you display a closed off posture, such as crossing your arms or turning away from the person or situation that you're dealing with, then yeah, that is your literal body showing unwillingness. That's pretty interesting, right? Our body tells us a lot, and we tend to ignore our body. And so we aren't able to tune in to what it's telling us about how we really feel on a conscious or a subconscious level. Very interesting. If you're liking this information about delving more into your unwillingness and are more curious about the rest of my series, I would encourage you to watch this playlist here. It's almost completed and is almost like a full mini course that you can take on discovering your level of honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness, which we're now discussing. I will also link it in the description below. Take some time to jot down your lack of interest components as well as your negative attitude flags, and check on yourself to see if you've been expressing some of these lately. If you have been, then it can be, if nothing more, a catalyst to you understanding more how willing or unwilling you are and why that is. We're not just here to solve the unwillingness problem. Maybe the thing that you're unwilling about, you shouldn't be doing. Maybe it's out of alignment, and that can be a huge catalyst to you moving forward into doing something that is much more well suited for you and may even be more in alignment with your soul purpose, which, hello, if we can guide you towards that, then #winning. And yes, I just did raise the roof. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like these first two portions on how to recognize unwillingness in yourself, give this video a like or subscribe so that we can attract more people who might need to hear this information so that they can transform and get unstuck as well. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video where we'll share the other 2 components that might be recognizable if you're leaning toward more of an unwilling stance when it comes to life and the activities in front of you. I hope that you found this video helpful. I can't wait to see you and finish out the rest of this house series. Until next video, ciao for now.